Please, do not abandon your daughter. Please love her and nurture her. Through the sea of people and between all of the chaos, these words sprung out at me. In a crowded train station in India filled with movie posters, soda advertisements, and other miscellaneous public service announcements, a photo of a crying little girl was the one that caught my eye. I was only 9 at the time, but seeing those words accompanying that picture made me realize that there was a problem that needed to be addressed. Being a kid, I couldn't really wrap my head around the fact that some parents would willingly abandon their own children. I couldn't comprehend the idea that gender, something that you couldn't exactly control or choose, could ultimately determine your fate. But as I grew older, I began to realize that the problem at hand was a lot larger than I would ever know. And 7 years later, while progress has been made, not nearly enough has been made to save the millions of women and girls in India who are facing the harms of gender inequality. Gender inequality has been around since the times of Adam and Eve. It's one of those things that's unfortunately been ingrained into us and is always itching to be paid attention to. Kind of like when you were a baby and your teeth would be growing in, and you have that itching feeling to either chew on furniture or a toy. The only difference is that we eventually grow out of that habit, and gender inequality, on the other hand, has stuck around for way longer than it needs to. These beliefs are prominent all over the world, but are especially seen in patriarchal countries like India. In the words of India's first Prime Minister Nehru, you can tell the status of a country by looking at the conditions of its women. So let's take a look. According to World's Children, there are over 11 million abandoned children in India, 90% of whom are little girls. Due to the fact that men are seen as more useful workers and can carry on the family name, there's this preconceived notion that a daughter is nothing but a burden. In my own life, my grandparents and relatives wanted a son in our family to carry on the family name. So when my dad's sister had 2 daughters, the pressure was put on him. And when my older sister was born, the pressure was put on me. Obviously, from the moment I was born, my family and grandparents had nothing but love in their minds, but it only took a few days for the whispers to begin. The whispers of, would my parents try to have another child? The whispers of, who is going to carry on the family name? Who is going to take care of my parents in old age? As the years went on, the whispers went from minuscule to non-existent, but I couldn't take the fact that technically, because of these patriarchal beliefs, I was a disappointment from the moment that I was born. I'm lucky enough to not have these beliefs actually harm me, but millions of women and girls in India are not nearly as fortunate. These beliefs can harm women in almost different tiers of danger, with the first and tamest level being blatant sexism. Statement like, girls aren't built to be strong, or just sit still and look pretty. Although sexism can't necessarily have a physical toll on women, it often has a great mental toll that acts as an obstacle in schools and in the workplace. In a study by the Times of India, it was revealed that women in India face a series of unconscious stereotypes, like they don't need to be paid as much because they're not the primary breadwinners in the family, or they don't need to be promoted to higher positions because those require more commitment and women just have to take care of their children. When someone is essentially telling you that you're not good enough, that your hard work will ultimately come up fruitless simply because they can't comprehend your success, the last thing you want to do is keep working. The second level that these beliefs harm women in is human rights violations. In a study by the New York Times, it was revealed that women and children in India are victims of widespread human trafficking. Just in 2016 alone, there was 20,000 reported cases of human trafficking, a nearly 25% increase from the previous year. India also has the highest number of child brides, as stated by the awareness campaign Girls Not Brides. In just recently released census data by India Spend, it was revealed that 12 million Indian children were married before the age of 10. And to give you guys some context, that's the average age of a 5th grader in America. In addition to other factors, child marriage can often be rooted in gender inequality, more specifically the idea that women are of not as much value as boys and are ultimately going to be taking money rather than bringing it in. These pre-established harmful social norms also contribute to the use of dowry in child marriage, which is another reason why people believe that a woman's value can be correlated to a number. The third level that these beliefs can harm women is death. From female infanticide to sex-selective abortion, India is responsible for almost half of the female population that could have been alive around the world. Just this past month, 19 female fetuses were found buried behind an unlicensed abortion clinic in New Delhi, India. All of the mothers, sisters, and wives, who never got a chance to do amazing things, experience life in all of its wonders, or simply be because of their gender. There's more to this problem than statistics and facts. Gender inequality is taking the lives and well-being of women and whittling them down to something insignificant. The fact that I have to break this down into levels, like 1, 2, 3, is alarming within itself. Select 1, to live life on an uneven playing field. Select 2, to have no control over your life, body, or rights, and select 3, to not have the chance to live life itself. The only difference is that in this case, the woman is not the one making the selection. Let's think about it like this. Every year, we further develop as a society, almost like an iPhone going through a new update. But no matter how many updates we go through, there's always going to be that group of people who are stuck on iOS 2.4.1. And when we let these people hold us back, we are the ones that become responsible for the lack of equality and mistreatment in women's lives, not only now, but forever. Although we may not be able to change the views of those who came before us, we must all make an active effort to make sure that these harmful views do not and cannot transfer over. Rather than pressing save, it's time for us to start a new game, because at this point, we can't afford to lose any more lives. Thank you.